It's time for
What
the...
Hey folks, it's me, Justin Senior, and this is What the show where we analyze a crazy or gross topic and ask ourselves, what the Let's meet our guests. First is a man who was king of Thebes centuries ago and had sex with his own mother, the ghost of Oedipus, the king. And second is the guy who told him about this blasphemy, the ghost of the messenger. Alright, let's get started then. Oedipus, tell me what happened.
Well, you see, Justin.
Hey, Ed, you're facing the wrong way.
Oh, sorry, I stabbed myself in the eyes years ago. You see, a prophecy was told to me that I would kill my father and have sex with my mother, so I fled Corinth to make sure this didn't happen. On my way, I killed a man at a crossroads and then became the king of Thebes. I ended up in turn marrying Lamosney, the former king's wife. Little did I know she was my mother, and the man I killed, my father.
So you did, in fact, have intercourse?
Unfortunately, yes.
Hey, man, what the Mr. Messenger, tell me your story.
I have a name, you know. Why does everyone keep calling me that?
Because that's what you are. Stop bitching. Tell me your story.
Well, years ago, a shepherd handed me a baby whose ankles were bound and pierced. I gave the baby to Oedipus, the king of Corinth. He and his wife Merope took the baby, raised it as their own, called it a son. Apparently, he was told of a prophecy that he would kill his father and have sex with his mother. He fled Corinth after that, 1, because he wanted to prevent it, and 2, because he was offered the throne of Thebes. Honestly, if he had just stayed put and not gotten so curious, he would never have met Jocasta, and this issue would never have existed.
We'll be right back. And we're back. During the commercial break, Oedipus went to the bathroom and got lost. Thus, he will not be joining us for the rest of the program. We have one more guest today, and it's the mother and wife of Oedipus. Anybody else hear banjo music? And please welcome the lovely Jocasta. Nice to finally meet you. You're even lovelier than I imagined.
Thank you, Justin. It takes a very long time for me to look this good in the morning.
Alright, Jocasta, tell me your story.
Well, you see, Justin, when my son was born, a prophecy once said that he would eventually kill Laius. Years later, Laius was killed at Crossroads. A man named Oedipus killed the Sphinx that was terrorizing the city, and we made him king. And it was told that Laius was killed by Oedipus and that he was the man I was married to.
Ew, man, what the fuck? We need a solution now. Mr. Messenger, what do you think?
See, I think the solution should be Oedipus needs to admit that he shouldn't have gotten so curious. Curiosity is what drove him to actually find out everything that happened at the end of the story, basically. Okay? If Oedipus hadn't got so curious, like I said earlier, he would never have met Jocasta. None of this would have ever happened. He just needs to admit that he did wrong by looking after this stuff, being curious. That's all he's got to do.
Curiosity kills. What do you think, Jocasta?
Well, you see, Justin, I agree with the messenger in that if Oedipus never got so curious, we probably wouldn't have been in this mess in the first place.
This is all the time we have for today, folks.
Wait a minute, even though I agree that he shouldn't have gotten so curious, don't you think Oedipus should actually have a say in this as well?
No, he's lost. And that's all we have, folks. Join us next week when we take a look about how Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. That's all. Good night.